Hello. Welcome to another evening with Fellowship of the Tables. Oh, I think my visual got messed up, but that's alright. Let's see here.
I just had to mute my phone because my phone gives me a notification that Fellowship of the Tables was playing on Twitch.
Ooh.
Oh boy, you don't say.
It's also a black screen, so.
There we go.
Wait.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry, technical difficulties catch us. Start of every stream.
Are you guys stream sniping?
Always. Anyways, that out of the way. Got my mic fixed a bit, so hopefully I won't be cutting off the end of my sentences every time. And we'll see how this goes. Anyways, first off, we are all in a Discord together. If you want to come join us, play some D&D 5e, you can join the Discord that's linked in the Stream Elements command, and be happy to have you. And that aside, I think we are good to go right back in.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Gotta stretch a little bit, and alright. Last time, our party met up as most D&D teams do in a tavern. After much drinking, a bit of introductions, and testing each other out, getting a read on everyone, you all decided to accept a job to retrieve a stone from a village, Olviri Village, about a day and a half's travel outside of town. You followed Ginger Snap's knowledge of the area through the forest rather than taking the long winding road, and despite coming across a goblin ambush and a very large pig, which Obo managed to befriend, you were able to make it in just a little over a day. And now, as we rejoin the party, you have all made it to the edge of the forest and are now looking in towards the village. So, as you all are breaking the tree line looking out, you see off to your right the road kind of parallel with your course coming into the village. You see there's about a 40 or 50 foot radius outside the village where the trees have been cut down, presumably either for lumber or to provide sightline for whoever might be approaching the village, as you've seen goblins nearby and you assume there are much more dangerous creatures. Looking at Ginger Snap. Okay. So, and as you look in, I'll have everyone roll me perception checks.
Oh boy, my special.
Time to get that first nat 1 out of the way for Obo.
Yeah.
I lied. Also, it's really weird that we have 30 people whose name starts with the J.
Shoot.
Well, it's okay.
So, I get the sense that you're getting revenge on me with that.
Oh yeah.
Jed's thinking about that 2-ton piece of bacon that y'all let go.
Okay.
Jed is more than happy to go back for that 2-ton piece of bacon if he desires.
But he may not return.
You know, my uncle told me a story about a pig that big.
And did
I think
Chepo
his-
roll, or is it just lagging?
I rolled after Julius.
Huh.
Oh.
I rolled a 15 anyway.
I don't see it.
Okay. That's fine. Roll 20 causes problems. Almost as many problems as daylight savings time. Woo.
Sorry.
It's like
So-
Y2K, but daylight savings time.
As you all make your way out of the forest. How are you moving? Are you kind of stealthing, trying to get a read on what's going on, or are you just, oh, it's a village, this is safe, we can just walk in?
Obo is walking. Probably in the front,
Yeah.
next to Ginger.
I'll just walk behind Obo.
Okay. So, Julius and Jed, you're grateful to be back in civilization. You're not really looking around too much. Gingersnap and Juppo, as you're looking around, you see people kind of running around. Some of whom have bows, but none of which are armored or any kind of trouble, by the looks of it. And Obo, with your nat 20 for a total of 27. Wow.
Wow.
You listening in, you hear some voices yelling out, Thomas! Thomas!
Do I see who's yelling it?
As you look around, you see probably close to a dozen just townsfolk, some of whom are armed, kind of running around the village, looking out into the tree line. And as you all start to step out, a few of them seem to notice you and kind of run back towards the town center. And after... Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna yell out Thomas. Thomas! Thomas!
Gingersnap joins in. Thomas! Thomas!
Please do not taunt the locals.
I mean, did everybody, including Obo, hear Thomas, or is it just Obo
I
that heard
think
Thomas?
just Obo heard
Oh,
that.
okay.
Oh.
Okay.
That's fair.
Sorry. But yeah.
So did they get a worried look in their eyes when they ran back to the center of town when they saw us, or kind of like aggressive, or?
Can roll me an insight check.
All right.
Well,
They
you really
seem-
did get all your bad luck out.
Yeah, true.
Shit, no, the bad luck's coming. This is the
jinxed it.
pattern.
Oh Lord, it coming. So, as you get a good look at their faces, they seem surprised, a bit fearful, and very unsure, generally. And so, a few moments after you see some of them run off, you see a group of armed men in basic, villager garb, nothing fancy. Some hunters, a few just workers, lumberjacks perhaps, all carrying some form of weapon, one with a crossbow, two with short bows, all kind of come to the edge of town closer to you. As you're
Alright.
kind of closing the distance a little bit, one of them yells out, "It's close enough! What's your business?"
And I look back at Julius.
What, you're the one
So,
with the
uh,
paper, are you not?
And Obo will reach into his backpack and pull out a paper. We're adventurers! We were told to get some sort of glowing stone thingy that you needed transport for. And I just wave in the paper in there.
Kind of look to each other, and one yells out, "Who are you supposed to talk to?"
I go back and read the paper. Does it say?
It does. It's Jalen Adia. And that's in the Mad Hatter's chat.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah. And then he'll yell out, it says Jalen Adia? Am I pronouncing it right?
One of the older men, the one holding the crossbow, yells out, "Close enough. Come on in." And
Oh,
the
thank
men
you.
kind of lower their weapons. They don't fully put them away, and they seem on guard, looking at some of you in particular.
Fucking racist, man.
I asked
look-
one of them.
Oh, you're fine. I was just going to suggest that the better speakers the more civilized among us should probably lead the pack.
I'm kind of happy behind your creature, just so.
I'll take it.
Hidden.
I was more looking at Jed and Julius.
I mean,
I'll take
if
it.
you
So I
silence
lean
this-
over to one of the guys and I'm like, so why are there so many armed people?
Young boy went missing. If you ask Jalen about it, you're supposed to talk to him anyways. And at this point, he's kind of led you into the village. You look around, it's probably about a dozen houses, along with a central shelter in the middle of the town.
All right,
Kind
so
of-
I've never done this before, but I know they've never heard of me, but because of my folk hero background, do I get some kind of do I get some kind of rustic hospitality from them? Like maybe just because I'm the one human in the
That's fair. And they don't seem to be hostile towards you. They're just on edge, generally, at this time. You get the sense? But he is just... Jalen, the headsman, is kind of gesturing you all forward, and you see some tables set up under the shelter, and he seems to sit down at one.
All right, I guess I go have a seat. I'm assuming that's what you said.
Yeah, he just sits at the table and kind of gestures for you all to join him. Well, most of the people who had come to greet you, make sure that you weren't hostile, seem to go off on their own again.
Oboe will attempt to sit on a chair.
Am I cutting out for you guys still?
No, you're fine.
No, you're good.
Okay.
There are a few words every now and again that it seems to cut off from you, but for the most part, you've been rather clear.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll just have to work on my push-to-talk skills again. Make sure I'm really holding it down. Anyways. So he leans forward again towards all of you, now sitting at the table or at least standing nearby, towering over them.
Oboe said he was going to attempt to sit on a chair, so I'm probably
Okay.
on a chair.
It's not built for you, but you get some kind of lean on it more.
Like my
Understandable.
rear end.
Stand next to Obo. Make sure, if this chair starts creaking, Shia will attempt to catch him.
Like Oboe's got the thing where his rear end's like half on the chair and half not.
I'm just gonna jump on top of the chair and stand on it.
I see the chair creaking, and I mentioned to the headsman ways to reinforce their seats for non-human.
He kind of gives you a strange look and like, I'll keep that in mind, but we don't get much in the way of non-human visitors.
I understand.
As
This is a-
as he says that, Julius like noticeably like readjust his coat, just sort of awkward looking.
And he kind of notices that and glances at you. No offense meant, I just meant less of the kind of gestures at Oboe. Differently shaped individuals, shall we say. Anyways, that's not the point. Anyways, so you all came to pick up this stone that we found, right?
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah,
Oboe will
Lord.
take out the paper and put it on the table and slide it towards him.
Well, I'm glad that a messenger made it safely. I was kind of worried with the roads the way they are. So, we had this stone, had some writing on it, big white thing, and we the man who found it said that he heard a voice when he first picked it up. We don't normally deal with that kind of thing. We don't like to. It's not our purview. So we kind of locked it in a shed in the middle of town. He gestured towards this basically tool shed right adjacent to the shelter here. And it's been just fine. We checked on it every morning, still there. But this morning, it was gone. Lock was off the door and it was ajar. And also kind of gestures towards the people running around town. Seems Elmira's boy Thomas was missing from his room, his window wide open. Don't know why. Figured it was just one of the kids playing a prank. They like to have their fun in the woods. But with the stone also disappearing, I don't figure it's a coincidence.
Is that?
Then
With Thomas and the stone disappearing like at the same time, it's kind of getting me to think, well, I just want to ask you, did Thomas perhaps find the stone?
yeah, how big? How big stone?
Doubt it. Stone about the size of a grapefruit, maybe. Kind of oblong, though, not perfectly round. And Thomas, well, he's 3. So I don't figure he'd be the kind of type to get into a shed like that. With a lock on the front.
She thinks for a moment. How big 3 human? How big human 3?
Kind of
Very
About the
glances-
size of Mr. Jupo over there.
Oh, small. Yes. No take stone. Stupid.
Obo will kind of creak forward onto his chair a little bit and say, well, I'd say we don't necessarily get paid unless we're able to transfer that stone, but chances are if they disappeared at the same time, I surmise they might be in the same location. If we were to go looking for this stone and child for you, would you be able to compensate us in the slightest for it?
That's rather fucked up, don't you think?
And Obo kind of looks over. Paying somebody for work? How's that fucked up?
Well, shouldn't you do it out of, like the goodness of your heart or something? Because it is a missing child, after all.
I don't know, man. My parents had 17 children. 10 of them, actually, no, 15 of them died. So I guess kids come and go.
Yes, but that isn't that even more reason to protect the ones you have?
Hey, my brother's kind of an ass.
Gingerstep doesn't seem to have a stake in this. She really doesn't understand money.
Jalen kind of glances over at Julius. Says, well, I appreciate your concern and your morals, but it is normal to pay for this kind of danger, especially with, I don't know, the kind of unknowns that we've seen in this forest. By the way, Jalen Adji is my name. Never properly introduced myself.
Obo will reach out a big turtle hand.
Take it.
Well, it was very nice meeting you, Jalen. Now, I'm not looking to extort you. I'm just looking for a reason to risk my life for something like this.
Maybe a good meal and a warm bed.
Well, that's the least we can do, but I think we aren't rich, but we can scrounge up what we can, see if we can make it worth your time.
And Obo kind of puts up his hand and says, and that'll be enough. Thank you. Is
Maybe
it alright
we
if
could-
I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Is it alright if I ask last time you saw the child? And where was he at the time?
His mother put him to bed last night. His room, same as always. Nothing amiss, but woke up this morning, went to wake the boy, and he was gone. Window wide open.
No night watch? No saw anything?
Well, we have a night watch, but they didn't seem to see anything. They just wander around the village, perhaps set a lamp and sit at the shelter.
Do things like this happen often? People are going missing.
I mean, occasionally we'll lose a hunter out to the wilderness, but nothing in the city. Or village, I should say.
Has there been anybody else been asking about the stone before we arrived?
No. And that's kind of what got us worried when you showed up. Coming out of the forest instead of the road. Figured up to no good.
Didn't just
We
have
were
the,
told that. Yep, sorry.
boy, stolen boy. He have sibling.
No, only child.
She nods. And mom. She good? She good at mom. Being mom.
She's a nice woman, takes very good care of her son and the other kids around the village. Lost her husband to the woods about a year ago. Not sure what got him, he just never came back. He kind of gives you a hard look.
She grins and shrugs.
And Obo will ask if he can. Can we inspect the house that was the child allegedly was kidnapped from? I might be able to find some tracks of any sort if the exit point was truly the window.
By all means, that and the shed, gestures behind him. If you can find out what happened to either one, if it's the same crew or different people, I don't know. But you,
right.
adventuring types, seem to know your way around the world more than I. I'm just simple lumber worker here.
And Obo will kind of tip his hat and kind of creak up off the chair and kind of look at his companions to see if they're ready to go, if they want to ask more questions.
Jed looks up and says, did he describe what the voice sounded like whenever he touched this, or what it said?
Couldn't really get much out of him. He didn't seem to want to talk about it. Seemed right spooked.
And do you know where he is currently?
Yeah, it's Jonathan. He kind of points to one of the men holding a bow, kind of just keeping a watch on the forest. Seems to be late 20s, early 30s. Yeah.
So out of character, what's the relative size of this village and how old?
It's fairly small, like a dozen houses. You assume at least one family in each. And you see probably close to maybe 24 people about. The relative age seems to be only popped up in the last 2 or 3 years. Like, you would also all know that the main city of Anarat was only founded 5 years ago, so everything is fairly new in terms of villages.
And did you say this stone disappeared?
He said that the stone was in the shack when they went to bed last night, and when they woke up, the lock was broken, and the door was open, and the stone was gone.
It was broken, not picked.
Well, to his eyes, as a villager, he probably didn't take a close look, you'd assume.
I'm just kind of asking, like, was it, like, bent or smashed open, or, like, was it just open, like, that had been unlocked with a key or something?
I don't know. It's saw some scratches on it and a crack or two, so I assume it was broken. But I don't know too much about metalworking. I couldn't say for sure.
Speaking of working, do you have anybody that makes like a medicine man or that makes potions or?
Not not your kind of magical medicines that I see adventurers going around with, those brat red things. I have a few of the mothers here know how to make basic poultices. Helps with the fever and a few cuts, keep them from getting infected. Other
Do you get a
than
lot
that,
of?
Well,
Do you
say
get
I wanted to go the other way and not get them cured. Who would I speak to?
Oh.
No reason.
No one in
and
this
Obo will
village.
kind of, and Obo will
Okay.
kind of lean down to Jumbo and just kind of whisper to him, "Get with me later on that."
Chopper just smiles and jumps off the chair.
Do you guys have a lot of adventurers coming through here? You keep talking about what adventurers have on them.
No, I used to live in the city over there, but liked the open air and the woods around here more. So I moved out. Still know a lot of, or seen quite a few adventurers from my time there and around the city. I haven't seen much around here though, only when we send in a requisition or work order for some help. Seen there's occasionally a bad beastie out in the woods or something that our hunters can't take down themselves.
Hmm. My. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you all for your offering your help. If there's anything else I can do to assist you in your way or support I can give, please let me know.
Thank you very much. We'll keep you in touch. And Obo will begin waddling towards the door.
If I could have a couple days worth of rations, I'd appreciate it because I think I used up two from the town to here.
Obo did bring food for everybody that one, so you probably only used.
Oh, gotcha.
You might not have used any.
Yeah,
Oh,
Obo
yeah,
did
no,
say he was doing some hunting and berry gathering. So I'd say for your trip from the city to here, you didn't have to use any rations.
Okay,
But
cool.
he does say he can provide some dried meats if you need it.
That'd be great, just in case we need to feed the child something.
He nods and calls out to one of the other villagers nearby who goes into, like, basically the brick end of this shelter, goes inside and after a few minutes comes out with a small, basically canvas bag that has some meats and a piece of bread in it, like a loaf of bread. Just for something nicer than hard rations. It'll keep for a day or so.
And when I was a kid, I used to have this potato sack stuffed with straw, and it would make me real happy when I was sad. Does that child have anything like that you're aware of?
Maybe we should,
Not
maybe
to
we
my
should ask the
knowledge.
mother.
Like
Yeah.
a teddy bear.
Yes, more than likely, I doubt you would know.
Yeah.
If you want to talk to her, Elmira's probably Elmira is her name. He kind of clarifies. And, well, she's probably in her house now. The other women wanted to keep her there so she didn't charge off into the woods or anything hysterical right away.
I do want to check out the shack before we talk to her.
Yeah. Did he tell us the direction of the house?
He would point it out as well.
All right.
Seems to be pretty uniform houses, so he's giving pretty well directions. Sorry.
Ginger Snap grins. Magic Shack time! Time!
Yep, it is.
I suppose,
check time.
yes.
Alrighty, so we can check out the shack, we can check out the witness, and then we can check out the house where the child was kidnapped. I say we check out the shack first, as it is the closest to us.
It makes sense, I suppose.
Hey Ginger, I once heard of a dog that could track down a deer after it had been shot and bleeding 3 days afterwards. How do you have the same kind of snake?
She shrugs. Maybe. Depends on wind. I will try. And she starts marching towards the shack.
And Obo will follow.
Okay, so as you approach the shack, it's fairly small, probably 4 feet by 4 feet by about 8 feet tall. And you do indeed see the door kind of resting open. On the ground is a simple padlock, and as you glance inside, there's all manner of saws and farming implements kind of hanging on the walls.
May I check out the padlock to see its condition?
I'll
Sure.
check out the door, so can I help him with that?
Sure, roll investigation with advantage then.
Oh, me?
Whichever one of you, since you're both investigating.
Jumbo can roll investigation with advantage. That's intimidation, Jumbo.
The lock is unmoved. It is metal.
The lock
Oh.
don't give a shit.
Damn.
Oh,
Oh, if it was the same modifier for both, we could have used the previous roll.
Yeah, sure. So as you pick up the lock, it's a little rusted, probably not seen much care. It's basically holding the tool shack closed. Get the sense they're not high on security there. But Jeppo, as you, with your experience, look at it, and you look at the base where the key goes in, you see a number of scratches, some deformation on the metal, and you assume this was roughly picked, but whoever had it didn't have high quality tools. Seemed to use maybe a thin piece of metal or something to basically wedge the pins to the point they broke and it opened.
this is definitely done by an amateur.
She gave you that idea.
Yeah, was it forced or was it picked?
A little bit of both. Like, picking needs some finesse, and this guy or girl or whatever it is definitely did not have finesse.
Hmm.
As
No,
they're doing this, Ginger Snap will head inside. Is there like an obvious place where the rock was kept, like a pedestal or something? Obviously not like a real pedestal.
There's kind of a small wooden crate that seemed to have some canvas in it, where you assume it was set and closed. The lid is kind of haphazardly thrown to the side. But there's not really a shrine or anything, it's just sitting on a shelf there.
Any
And it looks to
kind
be
of,
about the size.
cool. Any kind of like residue, or can I notice any tracks in the ground? Just like looking through this. whole
can
scene.
can Obo guidance her?
Sure. So roll me investigation there.
Okay.
And you can add a 1d4.
Good.
So 5.
That's a 5.
Better than a 3.
No.
As you look around, you have probably never been this far into a human village, you don't know what's supposed to be here and what's different than usual.
Yeah.
It's all kind of chaotic and lots of metal instruments and, well, whatever these crazy humans do. But there's definitely a crate where you think the rock was sitting, and it's definitely empty.
And Obo
Ginger
kind of
Snap
looks.
shrugs. Rock is gone.
And Obo kind of looks around and says, "Yeah, what are the chances that a rock would leave a scent trail?" Yeah.
Well, he's not the brightest one, is he?
Do you see that out loud?
Maybe.
It's a yes or no question, not a maybe question.
Do you?
Oh, well, I say I just shrug and walk off.
Okay.
Coward.
And you get the maw of a knoll buried into the back of your neck.
Ginger Snap doesn't understand brightest. She thinks that just means luminescence.
Ah,
She's like, wait a minute, I'm not a torch.
correct. I am not, in fact,
She
a
like
source
makes
of light.
sure Jed didn't use the light spell on her or something.
She like whips out a torch. How about now? I bright now? Sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
let's see.
anything else you want to do around the shack here?
I believe that we've gotten everything that we can from here.
Agree.
Okay.
So then, where should we go next, you think? Go talk to the boy's mother, head straight for the woods.
Well,
Definitely
we-
to the mother.
Yeah, I believe we should stop by the mother and her house.
And at least comfort her that we will find her son. Or at least tempt them to.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And Spirit sent check for tracks.
Yes, I think me and Ginger Snap will go around to the part of the house where the window where the boy was apparently stolen from. Julius, Jed, and Joppo, I don't suppose you could investigate the mother and speak with her.
It is
As long
arrangeable,
as you don't-
yes.
As long as you don't talk about poisoning people again, Joppo.
I didn't say. Well, yeah.
Would Jed have identified it as that?
Yeah, it's pretty easy to say if you want to harm people.
Yeah, and Jed is pretty insightful.
How much poison would it take to, let's say, kill a person-sized animal? No reason.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Now, how well would you rate this rake for bludgeoning someone? You think it would, like, break on the skull, or could you do multiple swings? Hypothetically.
Just hypothetically here, no reason.
Okay, so you're gonna split the party?
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, I figure we're still within sprinting distance of each other.
Yeah, these houses can't be too big.
Yeah.
Famous last words. But no, they're not too big. So, we'll start with the squad that's going to talk to the mother. So as you approach the house, and this is the same house that the others were investigating, it's just the others are going to the window, you're going to the front door.
We're going to the
Yeah.
wall.
Yes, thank you for that.
Oh my.
So as you approach, the front door is ajar, kind of open, and you hear women's voices kind of comforting and a faint sobbing inside.
Well, which one of us should handle this? Not exactly sure these people would take to seeing someone of my stature.
I'll go chat with her.
I mean, I was planning on going with. I just wasn't sure which one of us should do the brunt of the talking.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'll talk to her. It's all
Yeah,
right.
let Jed do the talking.
I walk up to the door and give a soft knock.
Come in.
What do I see when I open the door?
You see three women kind of around, slightly older woman kind of sitting in her chair. Guess she's in her 40s ish. The other's probably mid 30s. All kind of comforting, talking softly to her, and two of the women kind of look up at you as you approach. Oh, strangers, welcome to the village. Sorry you caught us in this time.
It's quite all right, but we are happy to help. My name is Jed Swineherd. This is Jippo Hilltopple and Master Julius. I'm not sure what your last name is, but
That is fine.
but we're here to help. But I don't want to intrude upon you or anything, but it's best if we get as much information from you as possible, such as the information about your child, things you may have heard, smelled, weird senses you may have had, strange things you may have seen around the past couple days or weeks.
Woman kind of glances down, and certainly nothing strange that I've heard of. As far as the boy, Thomas, about 3 years old, kind of mess of brown hair, about this tall, and she gestures to about 2 feet above the ground. You assume a 3-year-old.
How tall is Jupo, by the way?
Oh, fuck you for bringing that up.
Just kidding, I guess.
3 foot 2.
Gotcha. I'm sorry. So she said she didn't really hear anything, sense anything, any of that. So nothing was out of.
This is one of the other women speaking, kind of giving general info, but they lean up towards Elmira and kind of grab her attention, and she kind of looks up through tears. Oh, no. Didn't see anything, just laid him to bed, tucked him in, and woke up and he was gone. No sounds, nothing.
How long before the sun rose do you think you noticed him being?
Right after sunrise. Went to wake him and feed him. And windows open, bed was empty.
Oh goodness, I am so sorry you're having to go through this. We will do our best to look for your dear, sweet Thomas. Do you have anything that he may have held dear, like something that makes him feel happy when he might feel sad? Just in case we find him, it'll make it easier to bring him home.
Had his blanket and a few of his wooden toys, but I don't know how well he'd recognize him. He's not very old, you see. And stepping back for a moment, the general setting of this cottage, this house, is basically the one living room, a small kitchen off to the side, and then 2 bedrooms. And as you look around, these are the only 4 people in the building right now.
Oh, sorry. I meant around, like outside the building.
Okay. Cool. So then for Jeppo, real quick, as you disappear into the shadows, you're looking around. Some people seem to be talking about, just calling out for Thomas. Others are theorizing, like, I bet it was the gnolls. Not satisfied with our hunters, they're going to take our kids too. Like, no, there's one here, they're here to help. But a stranger showing up right in the nick of time, it doesn't sit well, I'm telling you. and kind of just people throwing out all kinds of theories because they don't know what else to do.
Okay.
So in the building, yeah, she basically says he has his blanket, a few wooden carved toys, not much else besides that.
Do you mind if I take one of those wooden carvings with me? One of his toys?
By all means, just you're here to help, aren't you? Please bring him back. Whatever it takes.
I'll do my best. We have some friends looking around out back. Do you mind if we go into his room and look around?
Go ahead. And she gestures to the room furthest from the front door.
Thank you.
And
Look
so-
around and I notice Jupo's not there.
Yeah, he just vanished.
It seems that he does that a lot.
I guess so. I guess he had to use the bathroom or something. Such a small
this
guy, probably has
Place
a really
have
small
bathroom?
Not really. You saw an outhouse outside. This is medieval villages. They don't exactly have plumbing. Anyways. So, the other two of you walking around. As you make your way around the back, you see the window that you assume goes into his bedroom, sure enough, wide open.
Do I see any tracks of any kind on the outside of the window?
Say, survival, I think, would be a good roll for that. You do see some tracks around the base of the window, kind of scuffled. You see tracks that seem to come up to the window lightly, and then same tracks seem to leave the window a bit heavier.
Do I get the general size of the tracks? Like, are they small boy tracks or are they large man tracks?
They're definitely small, but you're not sure if they belong to a boy or just something smaller than a full-grown man.
I make Ginger Snap. I tell Ginger Snap of this.
She nods and kind of goes down on one knee and is going to try to take a sniff at these footprints, see what she can determine.
And
Yes,
as
if
she
she
does
tried.
that, Bobo would like to pat her on the shoulder and guidance her again.
Okay, roll me perception with advantage and guidance.
That's a good one.
So 17.
17, not bad.
You're used to the sense of the forest around here, several of the creatures, but there's a bit of the smoke that always kind of lingers around at this kind of village that catches your scent. As you sniff these closely, you get a hint that's similar to the goblins that you encountered in the forest, but you keep sniffing. There's a bit of swamp moisture and then some kind of tinge of decay or some overpowering just sense you get from this. It doesn't
Would I-
feel right.
Yeah, would I know if there's anything similar to like a swamp biome on the continent? Because like I don't recall like you mentioning one.
You know that there are several large rivers, like one a ways to the east of here, going south, that goes right past the city. And you know that there are probably wetlands in the forest, like not big wetlands, like places where water springs up or rivers go past where it's damper than usual. But not that you've ever been through or lived in for any kind of time.
But you did say there was a nearby river?
Yeah, that you and your pack have crossed once or twice, about better part of a day's walk to the east through the woods.
And what direction are the tracks leading? Like,
Yeah, that's what
as
Obo
they
was
go
about to
away
ask.
from the window. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you take a second, with the combination of the scent and the tracks, you follow them a little ways northeast. It seemed to go up, and they seem to go out with what looks like a small hunter's track. Basically, a worn down path that you assume people on foot take to go hunting or some sort.
That's mighty interesting.
Well, found path.
Yes, we should alert the others.
Yes. Wonder if they're done.
Did Ginger tell Obo what she smelled?
Oh, yeah, she would do that.
Okay.
Smell. Wetland. Weird. Wetland. Never been for long, but river close enough.
Alrighty.
We can probably hear them, right? They're like right outside of an open.
But at this
Hey, once
point,
again.
they're probably, they followed the track to the edge of the forest. So they're a little ways away, but you would have, if you glanced out the window, saw them heading that way.
Just see
I'm still
Jed tripping out. Just see
And
Jed
yeah,
tripping out the
Jeppo
window.
probably overheard them from where he was hiding.
Yeah. So I come back into the house and I say, I think Ginger and Obo are onto something.
So the rest of you who went into Thomas's room, you glance around. There's a rocking chair with some, a quilt set over it, and you see a crib with just a simple small blanket sitting in it. And as you look around, I'll have your roll investigation checks real quick.
Oh boy, my specialty.
Not mine.
I lied. Oh, not bad.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's about right.
We all rolling it?
I just meant Jed and Julius. But that's alright.
Oh, apology. My bad.
It makes sense
that's
why
fine.
you
That
couldn't
would've been
find
it.
anything inside the room from outside the room.
It would have been impressive if I did.
Yeah.
Sorry, am I bothering you?
No, that's good. So, Jed, as you look around, you find some of the wooden carved animals that you presume they played with, as well as the blanket. Julius, as you take a more practiced look around, you glance at the window and you see some of the wood on the bottom of the sill is cracked, kind of sticking out with splinters. As you look, you see some stains of green on some of the tips. Like a dark green.
I'm just gonna sort of, lean down a little bit, start examining it. Do I have any idea what this is?
So you think back, it seems pretty similar to the blood that you saw on the goblins from before.
As I sort of take a closer look at it, I'm probably gonna look backwards. Jed, why don't you come over here and tell me if you recognize this?
Alrighty.
Yeah, and Jed
Do I
has
know you?
more of a worldly view on this kind of practical thing. You see, yeah, that's a badly damaged windowsill and some splinters sticking out. They definitely cut someone if they went through it like that. And so, yeah, it makes sense if this would be blood of some type. And
Yeah,
green
that.
does lead you to believe, yeah, a goblin or some type of creature like that.
Well, hey, now you're an all-star for noticing.
You stop.
Well, I should warn you, Jed, all that glitters is not gold.
Weird, the forecast today is rocks. That's different.
Yes, stop now, or I'm coming in there. I'm kidding. I can't do shit.
All the wooden toys, the blanket, and the crib were mimics. Roll initiative.
Turns out the blanket was actually a rug of smothering.
Anyways, what are y'all doing?
Should probably go meet up with the others and share what we found.
So they're at the start of the trail, right?
Yes. They're a little ways outside the village, but you can still see them before the tree line, kind of among stumps of trees.
Oh, they went this way. Look, there they are.
Do we meet back up?
Yeah, you can all step outside and sure enough meet up. Two of you see this, and actually by this point you all see this kind of hunter's track going out of the village.
Obo would notify them of what they found out, of the tracks, of the scent of decay, and of the slightly swampy scent as well.
Yeah.
As I start approaching them, I'm just gonna speak out somewhat loudly. So then, what have you all found?
Well, we did find these rather small tracks leading from the window out to here, and Ginger managed to pick up a smell of water and decay.
Are goblins known to frequent swamps or riverways or anything of that sort?
Would
Obo
I
would look at
know?
Ginger. Yeah.
Yeah, would I know if there's any like swamp goblin tribes? Because I know you said I didn't really stick around for too long in the wetlands, but would have heard any rumors about that.
So roll me history, probably being the best. Sorry. But,
Woo!
oh,
Ooh.
Ooh la la.
you know that goblins tend to live wherever there's shelter, usually pretty close to civilization or other tribes they could either live off of or, I guess, scare off to take their homes. But you haven't heard of swamp or any kind of wetland living humanoids, really, for either goblins or orcs or gnolls for that matter. It's not a nice place to live.
Yeah. Ginger Snap kind of shrugs. Even my tribe, strong, big, don't like to stick around wetlands long. Haven't heard goblins living in wetlands. Bad, smelly, dangerous.
So with Obo, with Obo with his history in both minor necrotic magics and swamps, do you know anything about what possible adversary may have taken the child? It's a long shot.
Say, based on everything so far and your experience, you figure, like, your first thought immediately is, oh, lizard folk, but don't know why they would take a child. But you aren't sure on this continent what kind of creatures live in the swamp or would do this kind of thing.
Okay.
From what we saw, there was a smemmer of blood on the inside of it. Looks to be the green variety. I figured it was a goblin or something, but maybe not. Maybe something similar to one.
Well, I most certainly hope it's goblins. If it does turn out to be just that, then we'd be lucky.
Yes, yes. And even if similar to goblin, means small, easy to kill.
I wouldn't say small as
For them to, be able to sneak in here and successfully carry out a child without it, alerting everyone, I'd say that more than likely, to a degree, they had some type of magic.
Magic goblins. No like.
Well, I say the only way we'll find out is if we follow the trail.
I suppose.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you all set off down the hunter's track?
Yep.
Okay. Just for no particular reason, I'm going to move you there and go ahead and get in the order you'd be walking.
Ginger Snap would be going first.
Yeah, Obo would be right next to Ginger Snap. Can we not?
What the hell is that dollar sign,
Whoa.
Jack?
Can we not?
How did that happen?
Well, I know that there is one man who uses orange here.
Shame.
Shameful,
Yep.
Jed.
Jed, come back. No.
So should we put the stealthiest among us like a couple yards in front
No, I'm just using you as a hiding place.
to like scout out the area? Because Obo will not be able to sneak on anybody to save his life. Can we not do that?
Fair enough. But Joppa wouldn't want to, but I'll go ahead then. Scout out.
Stick to the
Stealthily.
trees, small.
Stealthily,
Okay.
I'm assuming.
So are you stealthing ahead a bit as you go?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a stealth check and a perception check.
Good stealth.
Good.
Good perception.
Ooh, good all around.
Pretty good. Okay, so as you continue along the track, you seem to follow it for a few hours. It seems to get a little thinner. There are a few branches, but as you keep following the trail, you by now have a sight for what these goblins look like, and there are a few places they seem to be dragging something behind them. So it's fairly easy to figure out where they took. But after a while, the trail seems to kind of separate from the direction the goblins are going, and you can see their trail start to go into the grasses more. And you can see broken branches and stuff as they went off the trail. Now, instead of going northeast, going straight east.
Ah! Oh wait, is only Joppa saying this?
Yeah, it's
God.
probably.
Oh
only
my god,
Joppa.
just forget anything.
I just
Just last for no reason.
You're not too far ahead, I assume. Yeah, go ahead.
I just stop and look at them and put up my hand silently. And I say, well, I don't say, but I wave east and towards the tracks that are going off the track.
Alrighty. Obo would head towards him slowly.
What time of day is it?
By now, it's a little before noon. Actually, probably a little after noon, since you got to the village probably 11 or 10 a.m.
Ginger Snap would mention, they go river, better part of day from village, maybe little longer.
Oh, lovely.
The tracks are leading this way towards the east.
Yes, East River.
Yes, good dog.
Are we stealthing the whole way?
Well, if we stealth, we move at half speed, and I don't think Obo can stealth to save his life.
Yeah.
Mm.
Plus, we're trying to save a kid.
I'm not
Yeah.
terribly great at stealth, but not lacking in it.
would-
Joppa just sighs and I can take.
What?
What?
Yeah, I just got a message. My connection got dropped.
Yeah,
but
I saw that too, but seems to be working fine.
Yeah, Joppa just says, sighs and says he can take point reluctantly.
Yes, small go ahead.
We'll be right behind you from a suitably far distance.
Okay. So, same basic tact as before.
Yep.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. And I'll keep you on this trail because I didn't prep an in-between map or something without a trail on it. Because I'm professional like that. So, as you continue on, I'll just use your same rules for now. Most of the time, you're able to keep track of the trail as it goes with these same footprints. There's a time or two where you lose it, but Oboe and Gingersnap are able to, between the two of them, pick it up a few meters away. And as you keep moving forward, Jeppo, as you're moving forward ahead of the team, you more sense than see something off to the side of you, kind of rustling through the bushes. Something large that doesn't seem to sense you as it's looking past you.
I just wave to the rest of the group like a hold sign. Stay right there.
Oboe freezes.
Likewise. Julius will also sort of stop in his tracks.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd say everyone can make me a perception check, Gingersnap with advantage.
Nice. 16.
Yeah,
Oh,
16.
Yeah, there we go. That's more like it.
Yeah, fuck.
So, Jed, as you look ahead towards where Jeppo is, you assume Jeppo's hiding. You can't quite get a visual on him through. Well, you can get a visual on his arm at least as he raised it to stop you all. As you look around, you see flashes of kind of gray and a few eyes between the various bushes. And Gingersnap, as you take a second, sniff on the wind as it's kind of drifting towards you from that direction, you get the scent of dogs or fur of some kind.
Does a symbiotic
And-
entity make noise?
Let's find out when we roll initiative.
Oh, I was gonna ask if I could do it before, but whatever.
Oh, snap.
Whatevs.
Ooh, very nice.
Of course again.
So for this, I'm going to say, let's see, Oboe and Julius are surprised this round. The rest of you have an idea what these are or where they're coming from, at least. So,
Good. Oh, good.
Oh, I love seeing you resize it to be 2 times bigger.
Yeah. I love it when my character can't roll perception rolls to save their life.
yes, indeed.
Do they all have crystals with? Just kidding.
Well, this is the second combat. I rolled a 13 on the initiative.
Nice.
Luckily, most
Oh
of
my
them rolled
gosh,
badly.
3 of them got lower than me, thank God.
Okay, but first
the
up
big
is
one, but-
Gingersnap. As you see now, as they start to move out, you see a large wolf and a few smaller rustlings in the bushes around it.
Snap will. Oh,
Oh,
hold on. Let me
Sure.
wait for that. Okay. Snap will use bonus action to rage. And then let me see. Yeah, she'll run up to the biggest, meanest looking one, and start with a great axe attack.
All right, go ahead.
Oh,
That will miss,
Aw.
unfortunately.
yeah. Well, that's my turn.
Okay. Now it's his turn, and he's gonna take a bite at you. So 7.
Surprisingly, it does not hit. So we trade missing blows.
Mm-hmm. But now his smaller friend is going to charge up and take a swing at you. A bite at you as well. It's a 21.
Okay, yeah, that does hit.
So you take 4 piercing damage. Well, 8 halved to 4, and make me a strength save. You're fine.
All right.
Chuppo, you are up.
I'm gonna draw out my short bow and hit the one that's next to Ginger. If my mouse would actually work, that one, the big one.
Okay, go ahead.
This is not at advantage, right?
Correct.
But I do get sneak attack.
Yep, because she is next to him. Or it, rather.
So long as you hit.
Well, fuck that.
That will
Oops.
miss.
Shit.
We're doing really good so far, guys.
I don't suppose we could
Yeah.
change this serene wandering music to something more appropriate
Okay, sure.
as we're about to get mauled to death by wolves.
Wait, where's
Um,
the music coming from? What music are you talking about?
In roll
Oh.
20. Probably have it muted if you go to the gear on the top right, the master volume music level slider.
Ah, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So-
use my bonus action to aim. And then aim at the big guy.
Okay, that should have been done before you attack, but I'll let you roll one more time to see if you hit.
I don't have a attack now. That's my bonus action. I already did my action.
Okay. So just to clarify, the way I understand that, how I think it's supposed to be done, is you can use your bonus action before you attack, and then get advantage on that attack that same turn.
Oh, okay, because I thought it was for the next turn.
I think it's next attack. Is it? Let me check.
Let me double check. I have the PDF up because I was freaking out about that whole thing. On your next attack roll on your current turn.
Ah, okay. Well, in that case, I'll use it as a bonus action as hide.
Okay. Roll me stealth then.
Chapo, no.
You duck back into the bushes. Okay, then Julius, you're
the fuck is
surprised by
that?
all this going on. Oboe, pretty much the same thing. You just see Ginger Snap yell out a war cry, and charge into these bushes.
Damn.
Jed, you're up.
Jed's gonna run off to the side and say, what the F are these? And he's gonna say, don't hurt us! And he's gonna put his hands in front of him and around, or wherever it has to be to not catch Ginger Snap. He's gonna sleep.
Okay.
28 points. Nice.
Nice. So as you cast that, roll me a d20 again. Okay, but let me double check how this works.
Sleep
So-
or the lob?
You use Tides of Chaos last session, but I think that was before a long rest. So I can't make you roll on the table because of that. So yeah, I think that's it.
I mean, you're the DM, so you can make me do whatever you.
I'd appreciate not setting the forest on fire.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Nah, it's fine. We'll save it for next time. So what's the radius on that? It's
It's 20 feet.
okay.
So I was trying to aim it in such a way that I'd miss Ginger Snap and catch the
Yeah.
bottom.
Outstanding.
Well, yeah. So those would fall asleep.
Yay, that's the two closest to us.
So
This is
this
fun.
wolf, seeing a arrow fly out of nowhere, is going to run out to this bow that's sticking out of the bush and try to bite it.
No.
It's a 16. It's 8 piercing damage. And roll me a strength saving throw.
Whew.
So that
Oh,
didn't show
damn.
up for me. What did you get?
12.
Nice. So you
Yeah.
managed to push it off of your arm. You're bleeding pretty heavily, but you weren't dragged out of the bush. This wolf is napping. This one is also asleep. Ginger Snap.
All right, just gonna take another swing at this. Actually, you know what? Since the small one actually managed to hurt me, let's take a swing at that one.
Okay. Against the small one, that will hit.
Okay.
7 damage. You cut down into its side and it lets out a sharp yelp of pain, but turns back and growls at you.
All right, that's my turn.
Okay. The big wolf is going to take another bite at you. 20.
Yeah.
So that's 10 halved to 5 piercing damage. And roll me another strength save. You're fine.
Good.
And now the little one. It's a 19, so I think that hits.
Oh yeah, that'll
Because
hit.
they have pack tactics, which is a fun one.
Oh man.
So that's 3 halved to 1 piercing damage.
I'm building up a resistance to it.
Yeah. And roll a strength save just in case.
These are kind of like Ginger's cousins. Right?
Fucking.
And that's them. So Jeppo, you're up.
Yeah, jump on, man. I'm saving you.
Uh,
Save yourself, run.
just with a scream, I'm gonna drop my bow and pull out my rapier and hit the wolf next to me.
Go ahead. The shock of this thing suddenly being right up in your face, you just stab wide and go right past it through the fur.
Okay, and I'm gonna use my bonus action to disengage.
Okay.
Uh, 24. Sorry.
Oh yeah, short people speed.
Yep.
Those stubby legs.
You can't call them that anymore.
course we
We're
can.
physically. We're physically.
I am the DM. I can do what I want.
We're physically impaired. Okay.
All right, so Ginger Snap looks like she's in a bit of trouble, so I'm going to step up just a little bit as I pull out my dulcimer. It looks like you could use a hand, so let's see. For Ginger Snap, I'll throw out one of these bad boys. Pew! Oh, that's
Decent.
that's my bonus action, and then for my main action, I'll look over to this wolf up that was on Jupo as I throw out a vicious monster.
How do you mock it?
I'm gonna look at it and say, "You smell even worse than ginger." And that's that. You
It
fuck
kind of-
you, dumb wolf.
It looks over at Ginger Snap, kind of tweaks its nose a little bit. And coughs.
It's funny
Oh, my.
because it's true.
That's all I can do.
Feels
for
bad
now.
about it, so.
All right. Oboe, you're up.
Do I see if Ginger is in a lot and still in bad condition after that healing word?
She's still bitten a little bit, but she's strong. Still fighting pretty well.
Alrighty, then I'm gonna move up to this wolf boy over here. And I'm going to use one wild shape as an action to symbiotic entity, then my bonus action to Shillelagh. And yeah, I end my turn there. Actually, did we do flanking? We do flanking, right?
Yeah.
So I will move there actually.
Okay. That gives you +2 to hit.
Oh yeah, I was thinking more of her because my turn's over.
Yeah, true. Jed, you're back up.
Jed says, "Don't chase after my friend," and he shoots the northernmost wolf to the left-hand side with a. Sorry, ray of frost.
That will barely miss. As it seems to duck behind the bush as it sees a bright light coming towards it.
He's gonna run over to this.
Okay. So this wolf, seeing his prey that he got a taste of earlier running away, is going to charge after you.
It does have disadvantage because of the vicious monster.
Fish smoker. That's true.
Was
So that's a 10.
viciously mocked.
Woohoo! This is.
All right. These two idiots are still asleep. Ginger Snap.
Time to go for the small one again.
22 hits.
12 damage.
Not bad.
You swing down with your great axe and cleave straight through this wolf.
Awesome. And then so for my bonus action, I'm going to take a nasty bite at the big one.
Go for it. 17 will hit. It's 9 damage. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's my turn.
All right. This
I
big
need
one.
that boy to make me a Constitution saving throw. That counts as 10 feet away from me, right?
Yeah. Large creatures are kind of iffy on that, so sure. It's a 9.
That does not save, so this man takes, well, not man, but wolf Takes 2d4 necrotic.
What about the other two?
The other, I only get to do it to one person per turn, so I choose to do it to the one that's conscious.
Oh, nice.
So he takes it
Probably a
to.
good idea.
He takes 5 necrotic.
Right. As he kind of coughs, and then let's see. Yeah, sensing where those spores came from, he's going to spin around, step down, and bite down at this giant turtle, who's now nicely seasoned with various greens.
Ah, shit.
It's a 7.
Nope. No, that does. I don't think that does.
Okay. That wolf is dead. Jeppo, you're up.
Seeing this wolf almost hitting me, I'm just gonna turn around and swing wildly with my rapier.
Is he allowed to bonus action aim before he does that?
If he wants to.
Then you can't disengage.
because I'm pretty sure the 20 will hit.
Yeah,
Oh
that
yeah,
does
but
it.
if you had advantage, you'd get to add your sneak attack.
Ah, right.
But that's 10 piercing damage. So now, as it's reeling from that insult about his stench, you just catch him off guard and stab straight through this wolf.
Nice.
And he flops to the ground.
And you can see Jopo just visibly shaken and just step into the bush right next to him and use his bonus action to hide.
Okay. Julius, you're up.
All right, I'm going to take another few steps forward as I look up at this giant wolf. Another vicious mockery. You might be big, but you're not exactly a very bad wolf, now are you? And that's all I can do. Oh,
Okay.
fuck yeah, that 1 damage. He's feeling
He's feeling it.
with
Sweet.
my... Gonna draw my rapier for now, and that's all I can do for the time.
Okay. Oboe.
Alrighty, so if Obo moves here, does that technically count as flanking?
I'll say yes.
Alrighty.
That's about the best you can do with those large creatures.
Yeah, so Obo is going to swing, shillelagh swing.
That hits.
Alrighty. Takes 10 bludgeoning and 6 poison damage.
Dang.
Ooh, we're doing good on damage tonight.
He is unhappy, but is still very angry at you all. Seemingly very hungry.
Good. Not good.
Anything else?
That is Obo's turn. That is it.
Alright, Jed.
Jed is gonna somehow tap into. I'm not real sure how he does that, but he does, and I don't think he knows how he does it either. And he throws a ray of frost at that big.
Okay.
20.
So it's a 20.
Yeah, that does hit. You hit him with this bolt of ice that seems to spread across his fur. He growls in pain. Anything else?
I believe that's all I'm.
Okay. These idiot boys are still asleep. Forever. Ginger Snap.
Another great axe.
Add
Fuck him
flanking.
up.
And flanking.
16.
That's a 16, and that will barely hit. So go ahead and roll damage. 9.
Awesome. 9 damage.
You cut down through his side. He is bleeding heavily, but still standing.
That is my turn.
Okay. He is going to turn around back
Indeed.
towards you. Oh, go ahead.
I need him to con save. Nope.
Okay.
He takes 7 necrotic damage.
How does he die?
So, from where Ginger Snap swung her axe, as she just rips it out of the wound, Ginger Snap would suddenly notice a whole bunch of gnarly looking spores form where the gash is and just grow outward until it widens the wound and makes the wolf like he was split in half. And then he drops to the ground dead.
Yep. Pretty much.
Awesome. Ginger Step is impressed.
Okay. So, unless you want to wake up these other wolves, I think that ends initiative.
Quick, go stab them.
Yeah, Obo, before his symbiotic entity ends, I think it's considered a crit if you hit an unconscious creature.
It's
Yep.
with advantage and an automatic crit if you.
Let
Okay.
Jupo do it, so he can get that 6 sneak attack.
Well, I also kind of get a sneak attack myself. With
That's
the,
true. So,
that's-
yeah, go ahead
well, for
and roll
now it's-
those attacks if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
We'll
so
see if
Ginger
you
since-
Step
can
is
one-shot
still in
him.
a rage, so she'll come over and help kill these last wolves.
Right. So you want me to roll an attack roll on advantage with sneak attack?
So 25 versus this boy.
Go stab
Yeah,
it. No,
that
we
hits the
can't stop
13
you.
AC.
So that hits their 13 AC. So that's going to be 2d8 plus 2d6 plus 5.
Yeah, he's dead.
So that is 18 damage total to him.
He's very dead. Never even woke up.
Ginger Snap will do this one now.
That hits.
Crit, 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 crit. You get to roll another d12.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Yep, he is very dead as well.
Just chops off his head. And then Ginger Snap will, as she's coming down from her rage, she kind of looks forlorn at the gross, fungusy big one. Like she was going to eat that one, but then she settles for the one she just killed. It's the freshest. She starts munching. And I'm not gonna use the feature. I'm just doing this for fun again.
Sure.
And,
Yeah, I'm not going to do anything to these wolves. We're looking for a kid.
and once this is all over, Jules is gonna sort of look around and be like, "So, why are we being attacked by giant wolves exactly?"
Because we're in the forest. And they're
Last time I
hungry.
checked, your wolves usually don't spring on normal people, especially in.
And why did those two fall asleep? That was weird.
Everyone just sort of looks at him like, "Dude,
Yeah.
come on."
Ginger Snap, in between her bites, kind of shrugs. There in the territory. She just keeps on eating.
Maybe the pits of whatever it is that we're sinking. I don't know.
Obo does not know either.
Okay.
But Obo will suggest that we continue. Depending
Ginger
on
Snap
how
everyone-
takes,
everyone.
takes her meal to go.
Oh God.
How is everybody looking? Is it metagaming if I ask how many hit points everybody has out of their maximum?
I'd say as you kind of look around, Jeppo is rough. Ginger Snap, a little hurt, but overall pretty good.
Alrighty. So Obo would Joppo, how many hit points you missing?
It.
Yeah, go
8.
ahead.
All right. So Obo is going to cast Goodberry. And he is going to give exactly 8 of the 10 berries to Joppo. And then the remaining 2 berries to Ginger.
Ginger Snap kind of sniffs at it and then shrugs, because it's Obo giving her the berry, and scoffs 2 down.
And then Obo gives the other 8 to Joppo. And says, 8 'em, trust me.
You feel
Well, thank you.
incredibly full from these few berries. And also healed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
also
Ginger
healed by...
Snap, she loses her appetite for the wolf after she eats these berries.
I mean, they're good berries.
Yeah.
It's in the
No, you
name.
don't say.
Yeah, so Ginger Snap gets 2, and yeah, Joppo gets 8, and Obo recommends that we continue moving if nobody else has any qualms.
Well, thank you, Obo. That sure did some good to me.
Yes, yes.
Yes. All right. So with the wolves laid to rest and a bit of healing done, you continue on following these goblin tracks into the woods. I think this will be a good time to take a 5-minute break.
Outstanding.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
All right. So everyone watching, we'll be back in 5 minutes. See you then. All
Didn't get a
right.
chance to finish my pie.
Well, you can do that while you listen to me monologue, as I always feel like I'm doing too much of when I DM. But that's
No,
what I'm
no,
supposed
no.
to do. Anyways,
No,
welcome
no.
back, everyone. We have pie and some pumpkin to drink. And we're back in the forest. So, having vanquished these wolves and continuing to follow this track, you move east for probably a few more hours, say 4 to 5 more hours, where it's starting to get a little dark. Almost like not sunset dark, but you can see the sun is touching the horizon before you start to hear a kind of rumbling in the distance up ahead of you. And as you continue forward, still following the trail, they don't seem to be as worried about being stealthy at this point, so they're just breaking branches in their way. Everything. You eventually clear the tree line to see the edge of what looks like a ravine in front of you. You can hear rushing of water below. And as you look ahead, you can see two posts on this side of the ravine. Across the way, you'd guess 30 to 40 feet across, you can see a similar set of posts. But as you look, you see some ropes are just dangling, as if there was a bridge there, but it's not there now.
That's mighty interesting.
The ravine? Does it have water at the bottom?
You can hear loud rushing water at the bottom, rapids of some sort, you assume, and if you look over the edge down at the bottom, you would definitely see water just rushing probably 20 feet below the cliffside edge.
Do I see the hanging bridge on one side, or is it just gone?
As you look down and notice the river, you see it hanging across the side closest to you, just dangling down, touching the water, and the bottom is kind of drifting aside. You can see it's been dragged a bit, so you assume some of the planks have been washed out by the river.
Okay. How wide is this ravine again?
About 35-ish feet.
Ginger Snap, how far do you think you could chuck a relatively palm-sized turtle?
I would. Far.
You said it's 35 feet.
Yeah.
Ginger Step will pick up kind of a smooth rock if she can find one just by the ravine side, and try chucking it across the other side.
Roll me athletics.
You say it's 30 or 35 feet?
35, probably.
Oh, that's
It's a bit
too bad.
hard to tell with dimensions, but yeah. So 22, sure enough, you reel back and chuck it, and it plods about 5 feet on the ground, 5 feet past the other cliffside on the ground.
Yeah, far.
I'm gonna use my mage hand and see if I can get it all the way. Just test the distance. The range is 30 feet.
Yeah, as you move your mage hand far across, you stand like basically against one of the posts right on the edge of the ravine and reach out as far as you can. It doesn't quite reach the far side, but it does get very close.
I don't know where this is going.
Do we have more than one of those?
And Ginger Snap, based on your knowledge of this geographic area, your pack has crossed this river further down, probably an hour or two's travel to the south. So you know there's a crossing there where it splits off into two smaller rivers, but that's time. You know.
Ginger Snap kind of thinks for a second. we get rock across, but only one rock. And she kind of gestures to the group. We big rocks, more than one rock.
Does anybody else have that fancy magic hand thing? Because if we had
Cannot
two of
say
them,
I do.
I might have a way to repair the bridge if we could just get the end up to that point. And I point down at the bridge at the bottom.
No, I do not have it under my repertoire.
I just stretch one of my arms with my palm right open, my fingers spread, but nothing happens.
Ginger Snap is thinking. She looks to her backpack. She looks at the rope coiled. Oh! And she looks to Jeppo. You small, you walk across rope. I throw rope.
And how would you get this rope to stay secure on the other side? You do not mind me asking.
She looks to Obo. Rock?
Yeah, rock would do it.
I think the rock would. Well, I suppose it depends on how big the rock is.
I look at
Obo-
Ginger. Does Ginger have a spear javelin? Damn,
Yes.
Okay, she does have a spear javelin.
I have
So-
multiple javelins.
If we were to tie a rope to the end of a javelin and chuck it over,
And you want me to tight walk that?
Or I mean, we could tie the rope to an.
have you ever seen
turtle.
Cliffhanger
No,
with Sylvester Stallone?
no. Well, I don't know like where this conversation's going.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry, you'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
How much do you weigh?
Okay. Over in the farm, when we were trying to catch some of the pigs, sometimes we would tie the rope into a loop and catch them with that. Maybe you could catch one of those.
Or because that would get one of us across, but what
How-
about the rest?
How fast is this river moving?
You look down and you can see the river's moving pretty quick, and there are a few rocks here and there. This is kind of the rapids section of the river, you assume.
Ginger Snap sighs. If no throw, then other way, but take long hours.
If we were looking for expediency, that would definitely not be the path, but I fear that we may have the means to get one or two of us across, but probably not the rest of the group at this point.
I tie rope to rock. I throw rock. Small man go across rock or rope, and then small man tie rope. We all go across, climb rope.
Sounds legit, but can I ask Jed if he could try to grab the end of the broken bridge that's on our side with his mage hand and then kind of pull it up to the other side to see how heavy it is? See if it's more than 10 pounds.
Well, it's a bridge.
Let's see
Tell
how
you
far-
what. And I take the mage hand and one end of the rope and kind of send it down. I keep cutting out, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So I take one hand, I take the hand and send it down with one end of the rope and loop it around the end of the bridge and bring back the end of that rope and just start pulling it up and pulling up the bridge with it.
That's a good idea. So the rope's across the bridge now, right?
No, his mage hand.
It's on this close side of the bridge.
I don't know. Do you think you could do like is there a loop in the end of the rope?
I'm so the bridge is down in the water, right? It's been
Mm-hmm.
best way to describe it is the far side has been cut. Basically, if you pull it up, it's still attached on the side closest to you. And this is, like, the bridge isn't especially wide. It seems to just be 2 strings of rope with planks between them, and then, like, a guardrail rope, basically.
Alrighty, so here's my plan. We have 2 ropes, right? Well, if we tie a loop in one of them, and then Jed sends the magic hand over, he can kind of hopefully, toss the loop around one of them posts. Then we tie the other end of the rope to one of these posts. I also have a rope, so we can tie my rope around the waist of the person who's crossing, and then tie the other end of the rope to something very secure on this side. So if they fall, they are caught by it.
I don't understand, but I am on board.
I don't think that's an awful plan, but I am unsure if his magic will be able to reach the other side.
Well, we know we can get within 5 feet of it. So if the hand has the strength to toss the loop over the beam,
I
maybe.
don't believe it does. It's a hand after all. It's not an entire arm. It's sort of what, those muscles are for.
Jed, how are you about heights?
Ginger Snap, like, has an idea. I toss small across, then we do rope plan, and small tie rope to other side.
What?
Oboe
Yes.
would help in this.
That might help, I suppose.
We could do like one of those 1, 2, 3 things that we used to do with children.
How strong are you, Oboe?
Well, I'm not nearly as strong as Ginger Snap, I would say I'm comparable to her.
Very
You
well
guys
then.
are actually talking about going through. Do I don't get a say in this?
No, we tie rope around you. You fine, even if fail.
Yes, we can do that.
Just make sure it's not around my neck.
Of course not. What other part would you want it around, though?
What is the safest part?
I'm going to tie the rope around his waist, and then I'm going to tie the other end of the rope to the sturdier of the 2 beam posts on our side.
Okay.
This is an excellent plan.
This is gonna go really good.
Well, this is happening.
All right. I am then going to cast guidance on Ginger Snap. And I am going to use the help action to help her throw Jupo across the ravine.
Hey, Jed,
Okay.
you want some of this popcorn?
So, how I think I'm gonna do this. So, I'll assume Julius and Jed are helping how they can. And so, I'm going to have Oboe and Ginger Snap roll athletics checks. And the total of your checks is how far you can throw him.
Oh, God.
Alrighty.
No
Okay.
pressure.
And Ginger gets a D4 added to hers.
Okay.
Let's go. Ready? Oh, mine's also a 9. But, so that is a
20
20
feet.
total. 20 feet.
Wait, if you
Ah!
all hold on, could we say that I gave one of them bardic inspiration
actually-
before they started this?
Sure.
All right, you know what?
Well, even
I'll
if
give
we
it to
rolled-
Oboe. It's
the
okay.
thing is,
Listen, you
even-
can get him a little bit farther, just not a lot.
Well, even if we rolled max on the Bardic Inspiration, we still kind of rolled shitty.
It'll be
So,
fine.
I don't think it would have
Remember, you both had advantage.
15.
Wait, we both had advantage?
Because I assume the other 2 were helping you in their own way.
Oh, wait, so
Oh,
then... Okay, thank God.
32, 30. Okay, so that's 32. We had
Plus two.
34. Bardic
34.
Inspiration, which is a
Come on, Bardic
D6.
Y'all want
So
to roll
that's-
this, or should I?
Okay.
never mind.
Sorry, I already rolled it.
That's
So he
fine.
barely makes it.
He barely makes 2 feet to spare.
So, Jeppo, as they throw you wide, this rope trailing behind you across this wide ravine with a rushing river at the bottom, you hit the other side just the top of the ridge hitting straight at your midsection and just knocks the wind out of you. But you manage to grab onto the wooden post on the far side.
That was not fun.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Did you die?
No,
Well, then you're fine. Stop worrying about it.
it's not fun.
Don't worry, all of us are next.
I could have probably shot an arrow with a rope attached to that.
Would you trust your life to the purchase of a single arrow?
Yeah.
Then we should have done that.
Too late. Too late.
Tie the rope.
Tie the rope.
Tying the rope.
Alrighty. And that was the rope that we already had. So
Yep.
Obo's now going to take the rope out of his bag. And he is going to attach it to the other post and then attach it around Julius' his waist.
Me? Wouldn't it be
Yes.
better to have like Ginger Snap for this or something?
Ginger Snap and I are rather heavy. Would you really want to go after us?
I'm just gonna take out my rope and tie myself to a tree that's nearby.
Noted.
I'm gonna volunteer myself to go because I think I'm probably the next smallest being in this group.
That is more than likely, yes.
Alrighty. I tie the rope around Jed.
So I'm gonna get on that rope and go, I guess, hanging underneath it with my legs crossed over, and kind of shimmy my way across.
Okay.
Look down. Let
Roll
fear
me
guide you.
athletics.
Lieutenant. Oh, I forgot to say I cast guidance on him before he leaves. I was gonna cast guidance on everybody before you went.
I'd say, yeah, you can have that.
You're getting the mileage out of this spell.
It's a good one. So,
Alrighty.
Jed, let's see that athletics.
Come on, Jed.
Come on, Jay. No pressure.
Can I do acrobatics instead?
Sure.
Well, you could do.
no,
You could
that's
probably
fine.
do it. You could probably do acrobatics if he was tight roping it.
It's true, but even hanging down, you're able to stick your hands together and kind of just slowly move your way along the rope. And after what seems like a really just infinitely long time shimmying your way across, you reach the other side and can set feet on solid land once again.
Oh, thank God.
Take off your rope. We need it again.
He takes it off and walks over to one of the posts, the
Yeah,
more
take-
solid one, and ties it.
Yeah, tie it on that end, so that way if they fall, they at least fall towards that end. And Obo will look at his others, look at Julius and Ginger Snap, and say, "All right, which one of you wants to be next?"
I'll admit Ginger Snap has a little bit of height on me, but I'm unsure if she weighs more.
6'3" half orc versus a 7-foot gnoll.
While they're discussing, I'm gonna untie my rope and tie it to an arrow and shoot it over.
Okay. So as you're discussing, there's a thud as an arrow lands beside you in the ground, about 5 feet away, with the rope tied to it.
Alrighty.
Fuck it. I
So
suppose
now we have 3 ropes, 2 of which are attached. Well, all of them are attached on that end. I know how 2 will help us. I'm not sure how 3 will.
Oh, fuck it. I'll go.
I'm like, all right, I believe in you. And I pat him on the shoulder and cast guidance on him.
That makes one of us, and I shall follow the same method that Jed used.
Okay.
Well, with 3 ropes, you can basically have a rope bridge, like two two guiding and one standing.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever tried to stand on a rope? And this shit ain't easy. I'd rather take my chances going upside down, honestly.
Yeah, and I've done that. I've done what he's describing before, but without something connecting the V of ropes, basically. It's still very tedious.
Mhm.
Let's see. Athletics check plus a D4. Ooh, very nice. 12.
As you make your way across, you swear you feel like shaking, like wind kind of brushes you to the side a little bit and you're swinging a little bit. But after a while, you manage to make it across.
I never had a single doubt in my mind.
I'm like, all right, Ginger, it's your turn. And I'm going to pat her on the shoulder and guidance her next.
Hee hee.
Okay.
She's excited. Okay. She's gonna try to go like as quickly as like you know those gosh, have you guys ever done like a high ropes course?
Yep, I used to work at one.
Yeah, yeah. You know how you can like some people like try to like run across it and like
Mhm.
kind of works like on American Ninja Warrior or something. They'll like run across as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I have had to hoist up a number of guests who attempted to do that, yes.
Yes, yes. Well, Ginger Snap's gonna do that.
Cool.
Okay. And add the guidance. Okay. So, just hopping up and running across, you get a good leap off of solid land and kind of land on the rope. You feel it give a little bit, but you just run as fast as you can along the rope. And after a while, you feel a give, but you have enough presence of mind and time to just grab the rope as it swings down and you hit the wall about 5 feet below the far side as the rope broke behind you.
So we still have 2 ropes, though, right?
You do. And Ginger
All
Snap
right.
is able to pull herself up from that rope.
Ginger Snap is extremely. She very much enjoyed that. You see.
I will tie one
Almost
of the
died.
ropes, probably Jed's rope, around my waist if I can. And I will say a quick prayer. And I will guidance myself. And I will attempt one last singular rope. Try to do it quickly, but I am heavy turtle boy.
You'll be
You are.
And with a 27, do I do it fast enough?
Oh,
Yes, that's right. I do weigh 405 pounds.
yeah, I know, that's what I'm thinking. Huh.
Although I think one rope can hold 500. If I'm not mistaken.
You saw what Ginger Snap did, and you take step all the way about 20 feet back just to get as much of a running start as you can, and you just sprint full speed. You leap about 20 feet out into the middle of the canyon. Before you reach the rope, you grab it, and it just immediately snaps, and you Tarzan swing straight into the side of the cliff, about 10 feet below the lip.
Cool. Can I pull myself up? Well, still got the waist rope too. So can they
Yeah.
help me while I also pull myself up?
Ginger
Yeah.
Snap would try to help tug this big turtle man up.
Yeah, and with their help and your athletics check, you're able to pull yourself up to the top of the cliff.
Whew! I would gather up my rope. I would give Jeppo back his rope, and I would give Jed back his. Oh, whose was the third rope too?
I was expecting to
Snap.
do the same thing on the way back. I'll watch.
We should probably, if we are successful, we'll probably go the long way back. But right now,
Yes,
time is
yes.
of the essence.
Time! And Ginger Snap will receive her rope.
Very well then.
Okay.
Let's keep on going.
So you keep on going, and as you take a few minutes to look at the rope, it was indeed cut by some kind of short sword or dagger, you assume. And it's easy enough on the far side to pick up the tracks. And so they lead forward once again into a dark forest.
All right.
Alrighty.
We just chucked a halfling across the ravine. I think this is a success.
Yeah, that's one thing to cross off the campaign bucket list.
Well, speak for yourself.
Just the gift in the chat. I'm sorry.
All right.
Kick the baby.
So
All right.
you all continue on forward into the forest, following the tracks once again. As you're going, keeps going on. You're not sure how far this is going in, but it's getting steadily darker as the sun sets and it's now nighttime.
So, should we keep looking or set up here for the night? Because, I'll be honest, I think resting would not exactly be a good option for now.
Yes,
look at
yes,
Jin-
keep going.
Yeah, I look at Ginger and I say, yeah, how far do you believe that they might be from here, Ginger?
How far do I think the East River is? Or was the Ravine River the East River?
That was the East River.
Okay. Don't know. That was East River. Could be as far as they can go. But I think we keep go until can't no more.
Are we
All
just
right.
wandering aimlessly now then, or what?
Yeah, let's trust the dog.
And Obo would like to continue.
Okay. So it sounds like the consensus is keep going.
Fuck.
So those of you without dark vision, looks like Jed cast light on an object and he's holding it up so you can all see. And as you
How many objects can Jed's light spell affect?
Just one.
Ah, shit. That could be problematic for Obo.
and you all do have torches, at least most of you in your packs.
Yeah, but Obo uses both of his hands for combat.
It's the
Could make his shell glow.
Yeah, you could.
that might be a.
I
not
mean,
a
I would give,
advantageous,
I would give Jed one of my torches if he would make either my shield or staff glow.
Now, be certain this is a good idea. It'll be like a beacon in the forest.
Yeah, Ginger
Let's
Step's thinking
say,
back to that time that one of I forget who, but one of us cast fairy fire or something. She's kind of thinking it'd be easier for they to hit you.
It's
I,
also easier to see them to hit them.
Not
Well-
really, if they're out of the torch range.
It's no different from if we were using torches, but otherwise, if we don't, me and Jed are basically blind.
And me.
Right. She
And
shrugs. Your
Jupo.
choice.
well, tell you what, Obo, I can help you see in the dark if you like, without having to carry a torch. Is that okay with you?
Sure, that one shouldn't be bad.
All right. Can you get a little bit lower to the ground and
All
bend
right.
your head down?
All right.
Can he see my face?
Can I?
Vaguely. Yeah.
So, well, I'm assuming he's kind of looking down because I need to get to the top of his head. But Jed walks up to him and picks a real big booger out of his nose and casts light on it and just puts it right on.
Ew.
Not in like a mean way, but just like a country like this is what I gotta do.
Okay.
You know, Jed, you probably could have just put it on the stick.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could have done. I'm sorry. You want me to wipe that off?
Yes.
He wipes it off. Puts it on a stick.
The snot stops glowing.
Yeah. I think that's because the snot has a hard time holding its structural form and therefore counts as being destroyed. Can Jade, whatever you use on your booger, just close your eyes for a second, would you? And I want you to reach out your hands. And I want you to. And I guide his hands onto the stick. And I say, now think of it.
You put this on.
Yes, I put Jed's hands while his eyes are closed on my stick. What's the problem? I say, just think of it. Think of it glow.
Is it
I don't know, DM. Is it happening? Is he able to cast light on my stick?
As
I
he
feel
grabs
like- I
your
feel
stick
violated.
firmly, you begin to feel a magical feeling.
why
It's
is it so warm?
Because I've been
Yes,
holding
it
it all
works.
day. Sure. And I take my stick back room and I say, thank you kindly. And I give him a torch.
No problem. Jed's gonna have a torch himself because he doesn't need that light quite.
Okay.
Okay.
I will say though, Obo does have a very big stick.
I don't like this conversation anymore.
You know what? My intentions were fully innocent. It's all you that's mine through the gutters.
I just felt like Laura Bailey then.
My stick can only be conceived by the most pure.
Anyways. So, now you have a light cast stick and a torch. Sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so, are you still following the same order with Jeppo scouting a little bit, or are you all staying closer together now?
I'd like Jeppo to scout if he could.
Yeah, just me in front of everybody with a hooded lantern, just lighting up the way and trying to be stealthy.
Let's stick together.
I mean, if anybody could, it would be Jeppo.
Ginger Snap would, but she is too large.
Well, I'm guessing I'm heading out in front of the group with a hooded lantern, shining the way.
Yeah, we should probably stick together.
Stick back with us.
I forgot halflings do not have dark vision.
Nope. Only the turtle and only the gnoll and the half-orc have dark vision.
Yeah.
It's probably the first party I've been in where the majority did not have dark vision.
First glance, I thought none of you did, then I realized. So that would have been fun. Anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. Obo would be careful to be on the lookout at this point.
Okay. So as you're looking out into the woods, following these tracks, you can make a perception check, and Ginger Snap, make a perception check with advantage.
23?
Okay. So Obo, as you're making your way forward, the land is starting to shift a little bit. Forest is getting more dense and a little more moist as you move forward. But these tracks are deepening as it starts to get a little mushier. Ginger Snap, as you're looking around, keeping an eye out, you catch a scent on the breeze. It's familiar, friendly. As you kind of glance around, you see two eyes staring at you out of a couple of nearby bushes. Just a pair of eyes.
And the scent is friendly?
Yeah.
She grins and well, actually, she turns to the group. I gotta go do business, and she goes into the forest towards the ice.
Is she going to Use the restroom or what?
And Obo kind of turns his back to that direction and says, let's just give her a moment.
Fair enough.
Okay. So as you make your way towards these bushes, the eyes back out. As you make your way past, you see Sharp Arrow standing there.
She grins and, kind of in a hushed tone, but still very excited, greets her and Noel.
He greets you, seemingly happy to see you, but what you doing here? Why you with city folk?
Part of plan, yes. And she's saying all this in Noel. Remember? Sent to pretend to be deserter.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Why you here now?
Oh, I come with city folk. We sent on little mission for their she struggles to find the word even in Noel for money and just ends up saying in common gold and help gain trust with city with this mission. We sent to find little human boy.
Huh. She kind of cocks her head when you say gold. You go east, north, here. She kind of points to the direction you're going.
Yes. Following tracks.
What track?
Small track, maybe goblin, swampy smell track. Been leading us here from village.
Careful, there. She points further ahead, the direction you're going. Blind eyes say that cursed. Cursed place. We not go.
She sighs. Yes, but have to go. And she looks back. Turtle strong. Actually, she said spirits. Let me just read the whole. She
Sure.
looks back. Spirit sent. See? She points to Obo, through the brush.
And she's
Sent by
probably only
spirits, he help. He protect.
She cranes her neck and kind of... Spirit. Huh.
Yes, spirit sent. Not smart enough to be spirit.
Good.
What you do here?
I hunt, then I see loud people coming through forest, and at you.
Haha, yes, very loud.
Okay.
You see kid pass through here, goblin?
She shakes her head.
Yes, very quiet. They are.
Can't be.
Yes.
Well, you chasing them, you should go.
Yes, time. She gives Sharp Arrow a quick, hearty slap on the shoulder. Big dull affection.
Oh, wait, here. And she kind of reaches into a kind of satchel that she kind of tied into her fur and pulls out a small wooden bird.
Ooh, what this?
Blind Eye make. Say, can deliver message.
Ooh. I used to deliver message to you? To Blind Eye?
Yes. When you're ready, or if you need help, send message. We come.
Yes, will do. Thank you. I see you again soon, yes? Or
Yes.
sometime. Yes. She'll take the bird, put that in her own little backpack, give Sharp Arrow another little hearty slap on the back, a little gnaw on the shoulder, and head back to the group.
Okay.
She looks at group. Done now, we keep going, and be careful. Bad things here, I remember now.
Oh,
Obo would like to continue then.
very well.
Well, onwards we go.
Okay. So as you continue forward, the ground continues to get a little softer. The trees, after a while, hollow out a little bit, get a little bit more sparse, and you begin to see some trees that are decayed, like the trees died and something is eating them from the inside, or they're just hollow a little bit. And as you're still following the tracks, someone can roll me a survival with advantage, as I assume you're helping them. The rest of you.
All right.
All right.
Oba.
Yay.
Okay. So as you continue following the tracks, they seem to abruptly break off to the side. And
what?
off to the side, like suddenly branch to the left where they were going straight, in what seems like a kind of more clear area where vegetation is kind of slowed down. It's mostly marsh now at this point. And as you kind of look at them, they seem to be a little more erratic, simply following a kind of trail or path that seems to go winding around all over the place, but never quite doubling back on itself.
I make note of this and tell the group about it. And, alright, so do we continue on this path or. No, wait. This path juts out suddenly to the side. I think we're getting close to their lair.
And
Just be
as you
careful.
look around, you can see where it comes back towards the path in front of you, and then goes off on the other side, then comes and rejoins.
Do I see where exactly it may end up?
So you look across, it kind of seems to go behind some trees and a couple of, clumps of vine or shrubs.
Do I hear anybody nearby that's not in our party?
Roll me a perception check. You hear croaking of frogs, some just shifting of leaves in the wind, but you don't see anything that you'd identify as a creature or anyone nearby.
Okay. I would like to attempt to follow the path by the most direct route. I don't know if I understood it correctly, but it appears to wind in and out of this side here and then come back to this path.
Let me kind of draw something real quick on the map. Like it's basically something like that.
Obo says, how silly it might seem, we should follow this path exactly. And not stray from it from even a second.
And what makes you say that?
Well, I hearken back to yesterday how a certain furry friend of ours fell into a pit of spikes. I feel this path of similar footprints that we've been tracking this entire time suddenly juts off to the left here. The boat winds back to the path. Now, why would they do that unless there was something to avoid?
Very well, I suppose.
So we file single file line with Obo trying to lead as carefully as possible across this path.
Ginger Snip is kind of quieted down and focus on being more alert, and she'll follow right behind Obo.
Okay. As you move through, the ground seems relatively stable below your feet as you move through this marsh, kind of sinks in a bit, which makes it very easy to track footprints, kind of catches you off guard, those of you who are used to walking on flat ground. But taking some time, it takes a little bit longer, but you do indeed follow this trail exactly. And after a little while, have everyone roll me perception checks.
Ooh, Jeppo here with the
Let's
crit.
see. Perception.
Hey, Jeppo.
Son of a bitch. Wait a minute.
Jeppo's the only one not surprised.
Probably.
Yeah, so as you follow this trail exactly, you're not sure what they're avoiding, except for Jeppo. As you kind of idly glance behind you as you passed one of the many random loops, you see what looks like just a tangle of vine kind of move, and the vines like reach out towards the path, but can't quite reach you.
I am not telling anybody.
Okay. So you all continue on, making your way down this path, this crazy winding path, until you begin to move more north as this spinning, winding road begins to alter course. And the ground begins to get a little more solid. Eventually see rocks and some more trees. These come a bit more full-colored but darker in hue.
Hmm.
At this point, you've been going in the dark since that break for about another 2 hours. It's stressful, very uneasy, just making your way around this path, not knowing, most of you, what waits in the shadows around you. But eventually. So, eventually you come to solid ground, and once again the tracks resume going straight. You get
Alrighty.
a little breather.
I think we're through the worst of it at this point. Well, other than the adversary we may face ahead.
Yeah,
Yes.
still don't know why we had to take this path.
Jeppo, or I'm sorry, can I make an insight check to see if he knows something that he's not letting on?
Sure, and Jeppo roll deception.
Oh my god.
Is Jeppo freaked out by that, or just kind of, it couldn't get us, so it doesn't matter?
It couldn't get us, so it doesn't matter.
And
Like, you get
Obo
this,
kind of squints his eyes at Jeppo, who's
you get
obviously
the sense
lying.
that he seems kind of like he was on edge, but now seems kind of almost more relieved than the rest of you who still don't know what's going on around you. He seems to have like a sense of calm.
And Obo will kind of bend down on one knee and say, "Well, Jeppo, you're right. It was mighty silly of us. Don't worry, you can lead us through this path on our way back, and this time we'll take it the normal way." And then Obo will stand back up and start pointing in the direction that we should probably go next.
I just shrug and say, okay.
Okay. And so as you continue on moving forward through the forest, following these tracks that are once again kind of hard to follow through the dirt and the more dense brush, but you continue on, and after a while, actually, everyone roll me perception checks again.
Oh god, here we go again.
Please, just if you're gonna not fail one, please let this be the one.
No pressure.
Oh,
Okay. So as you all continue moving forward, following this track, Jeppo and Obo, both glancing ahead at the same time, notice ahead in a small clearing what looks like a kind of makeshift campsite with furs and stuff kind of tied together to make tents. You seem very rough, and as you glance around, you see a number of dead goblins and hobgoblin or two.
Number of dead goblins where?
Just kind of in this campsite.
Do we see anything moving in the campsite?
With that perception check, you don't.
Obo would stop the group and have them all make note of the camp in the distance.
And the trail does run straight through this camp, by the looks of it.
So,
Send small one first.
That must not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Do y'all think that's what?
oh, he's got a hooded lantern, so he can put the hood down on it.
It's not that kind of hooded lantern, but
Ginger Snap
Oh,
grumbles.
God.
I go first. I go first.
Alright, and Obo's gonna use his last wild shape of the day to use symbiotic entity, and I'm like, I'll go with you.
Don't die.
We approach the camp.
well, since
Hopefully.
Obo, your stick is still glowing, right? Oh my god, I can't believe I just said that.
Is it still glowing? Because if not,
I'll
I want.
assume that you had Jed recast whenever it went out, because it's been significantly longer than the normal duration.
Alrighty.
Then I'm just gonna step off to the side and turn off or turn out, pull out my lantern and follow them sneakily in about 10-15 feet behind them.
Alrighty. And we go into the camp.
Okay.
Ginger Snap definitely has her great accent.
Are you?
I will make sure, though, that there are no traps laid in this path to the camp, though. Making
Okay.
sure to look out for living creatures.
Roll me investigation.
Investigation. Cool. This probably won't end well. 1.
Uh-oh.
You see no traps.
Cool. That means there certainly is one.
So
And
you all
I'm gonna-
step into the camp.
I'm gonna look at Ginger Snap and like, what do you smell?
Dead.
Anything else?
Can I try to take a whiff?
Sure. Perception with advantage.
Oof.
It's too obscured by the swamp to smell anything.
Yeah, there's still swamp, and you smell just overwhelming decay. Like, if this can't have been recent. Like, it's been at
Alright.
least a few days, based on the scent that you get.
So, what Obo would like to do is he's gonna bonus action cast Shillelagh first of all, and then how far are we from this camp right now?
How close did you want to get to it?
From about 120 feet off.
Okay.
If we can, I don't know if I could see.
You
it
can't
from
quite
that
see
far.
it from there. I'd say seeing range, you'd probably be 60 feet away from the edge of it.
All right, 60 feet then. And on one of the bodies, I'm gonna cast Chill Touch to see if it moves. With a crit.
Ooh. Go ahead and roll damage. Nothing
That's not
happens.
supposed to be. That's not supposed to be. The pluses aren't supposed to be there. So if the bodies don't move, then I say Obo would approach.
Okay. So you make your way into the camp. You look around. There's no movement anywhere.
Can we check the tents?
Sure.
All right, Obo would check the tents.
As you open up the tents and look inside, you see more dead goblins. And presumably
Anytime-
some spoils or meat that they had stored there.
Any sign about what killed him?
Roll me medicine check.
Cool beans.
Wow. 25.
Nice.
So,
So as you look across some of these, like these goblins, as you look between them, several of them were killed by stab wounds or slashes that you assume from mundane weapons, but others seem to have no physical trauma aside from maybe some blood coming out of the nose or ears.
hmm.
Did
blood
are we
coming out
still
of it.
following the tracks?
The tracks lead into this camp, and if you look around, you'd see them going out of another side.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
gonna ask.
Well, I say we wave people up and continue following the tracks.
Ginger nods, but then kind of turns to Obo. "Mm, You need know, this place, it cursed. Real
Yeah.
big cursed.
That's unfortunate.
Do I hear this?
No, because she's like, like pulling him aside. We haven't waved you guys over yet.
Well, I followed you.
Oh, okay. I forgot that.
Roll perception check for hearing?
Yeah, sure. And Ginger Snap can roll deception, I think is a good roll. If you really want to make sure that only he hears you.
Oh,
Yeah, you overhear her say that.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna ignore it and look for the biggest tent.
Yeah, and after she says that, I assume she and Obo would wave Julius and Jed over.
well, it took you all long enough, did it not?
Sure enough, you see basically two small ramshackle tents and one nicer tent that one of the hobgoblin bodies is kind of lying on the ground in front of.
I step in search of shiny things.
How long have we been awake? Are we at risk of gaining exhaustion?
You are very much pushing it. Probably been awake probably 18-ish hours.
Hmm.
So basically real life at the moment.
Yeah. But roll me investigation to see what kind of shinies you can find, or try to find.
Investigation.
Well,
Well, what?
I haven't seen the roll yet.
Oh, I rolled a 16. We'll roll again then. Investigation. That's a 19. You can see that.
Well, better anyways. Yeah, that one showed up. Okay, so as you look around, you dig into this tent and kind of push past the body of another dead goblin. Do you see just some bags, a little bit bloodstained, but with more red human blood, or from other creatures you assume that they stole off of other bodies. And if you open up, you find, let's see, combination of coins, probably about 13 gold.
I take that. And I'll put that in my purse.
And also a number of various tools or weapons that are all heavily rusted and almost unusable.
I take one of the rusted weapons, just one.
Okay, let's say you can grab a dagger then.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Any of the rest of you doing anything in the camp yet?
I'm just keeping a close eye, make sure no one's gonna sneak up on us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just keeping a close eye on the forest.
Yeah, Obo's kind of looking around at the group to see how tired everybody's getting from the from just traveling, and wondering if it is really a good idea to sleep in this forest depending on how far we need to keep going in order to get where we need to be.
Well, I never understood exhaustion, so I don't know how that works.
You get lots of nasty debuffs after you reach certain levels of exhaustion. I think the first one is disadvantage on all ability checks.
Yep. Second, if you miss a
Is
long
how-
rest, you get 1 point, which is disadvantage on ability checks. You miss 2 long rests, you get half movement speed. And it goes on from there.
Yeah, it gets worse. With the 6th level being straight death.
Yep.
Okay, so we're using this camp as a camp?
I say we observed this camp and probably had our camp over in a clearing somewhere off of it. If they died here, we should probably not sleep here.
Ginger Snap is reluctant to sleep, like, in this forest at all, but she does understand that, even she's getting pretty tired at this point. So, yeah, she'll try to help Obo find a good spot that maybe looks a little bit friendlier.
Okay. Roll survival, one of you, with advantage, or both of you individually.
I will help you, Obo.
Okay. Please. 17, not bad.
17, as you look around, the more you look closely at this forest, the less natural this all seems around here. And as you look at the grass and think back to the way the goblins were dead, you're not sure if it's a good idea to rest here. Like,
Oh, what could go wrong?
but you do find a few other clearings kind of tucked behind different groves of trees.
Ginger
Alrighty.
Snap would suggest to Obo that maybe we just keep on pushing, because maybe if we sleep here, something worse is gonna happen to us than exhaustion.
Yeah, Obo agrees. We'll keep pushing.
Okay. So you all regroup and once again find the trail at the edge of camp. Doesn't seem to be any more or less numbers from before it went into the camp. So as you continue on following it, leads deeper into the forest for about another 30 minutes before footsteps seem to become a little more erratic, kind of ducking through different bushes and almost stumbling in places.
Ducking into bushes, you said?
Kind of as if the people walking are like dizzy, kind of
They
just
need sleep
stumbling
too.
inconsistently.
Obo will tell everybody about it, and he'll say to wait here, and I will go ahead. As
Ginger
a
Snap
ten-
wouldn't let him go alone. She'd keep on following.
Okay. So are you
Wait.
stealthing?
Wait. Let me see. With this area, looking at what I have. Shit, I don't have it prepared. Damn it. Well, that's unfortunate. Sure, I'll try to stealth, and I'll guidance myself to kind of make it better.
Okay.
'Cause I suck at stealth.
Ginger Snap will stick close and also try to stealth.
Ooh, good. That's a good stealth. It's a good stealth. Hopefully the
Good
perception
stealth.
ain't good. I got an 11 stealth and a 4 stealth.
Okay. You are tired. You kind of stumble through, cracking a few branches as you go. But looking around, nothing seems to react, and as you follow the trail for about another 60 or 70 feet, you look around the side of it.
Okay.
Oh, how far are you guys going, I should say?
Oh, sorry. Obo was gonna go alone to check to see if there was like poison or something. They'd probably wake people up after a little while. So they're coming with him. Sorry. I
Gotcha.
didn't know this would be yeah, I didn't know this was gonna be like another hour or two journey.
Seeing them trying to stealth, well, I'm gonna follow suit and try and stealth myself.
Sure, we can have everyone roll stealth.
Poof, I just disappear.
Not an uncommon occurrence at this point.
So, Jed, do you want to stealth with the rest of them?
Sounds
Okay.
like a maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, the three of you who are hanging back are just... You are the shadows. You are stealthing just fine. The other two are maybe trying to make themselves obvious so you can see where they're going.
They're being the bait.
Yeah.
I just nudge Jed and point at them and start laughing. Well, grinning.
Like, am I cutting out? Or we can go over that after session. Anyways,
Sounds fun to me.
so, yeah. So as you continue forward, checking the area as you move forward, and then motioning the rest of the party forward, Obo and Gingersnap, as she insisted on going with you, eventually round around a tree, and you see the tracks turn and go into what suddenly looks like a cave that almost goes straight into the ground.
Straight into the what?
Straight into the ground, like there's a small hill. Not even really a hill. Kind of a knoll, but the other kind of knoll.
But just
My brethren,
And-
no.
Yes. The cave seems to, angled sharply downwards into the ground.
Oy. So we've been traveling for about 20 hours now.
19. Yeah.
How
Alrighty.
big is the hole?
It's not huge. You'd probably have to crouch to get through it, but the rest of the party could probably walk.
Alrighty. It looks like just a normal cave though, right? Like nothing like the mouth of something.
From the distance you're at, yeah, it just looks like a normal cave.
Alrighty. Obo would approach said cave.
The
Okay.
alleged cave.
Cave, quote unquote. So as you approach, I'll have you roll me a perception check.
Both of us or just Obo?
If you're both moving forward, then both of you.
10. Yay! Thank you, Ginger.
Eh. So, Obo, you're kind of on guard, more looking for living things. Gingersnap, as you glance ahead, you know nature and ice trees. You know what caves should look like. This looks dug out, and as you kind of look at some of the walls, you see peeking out like solid carved stone. Like perfectly smooth in places where the cave has kind of been dug out in certain directions.
This is definitely a man-made cave.
Oof.
It's definitely dug, and as you kind of notice those sections, it's definitely something that was here and buried. Like what
Sorry,
looks
here
like
and buried?
further.
You
Like
cut out.
imagine. Sorry. the best way to describe this? Basically, like you're seeing uncovered sections of walls of like smooth marble, basically,
Oh.
as
Alrighty.
the dirt was kind of dug away down into this cavern.
Because this feels like kind of like final boss territory, can we take a short rest?
I mean, we're still in the forest. We might as well.
But
You
we
two-
don't have to sleep for a short rest.
Oh.
It's true. You are in
What
this
would-
forest.
Would short rest help stave off exhaustion for a little longer?
I'd
It would
imagine
help.
since we'd been
You just-
walking for a couple hours, it'd probably be good to rest our feet for a bit. Please.
Yeah.
Oh.
But Ginger Snap would insist we go like 60 feet away from this weird marble buried hole. And she would tell Obo, and then when we get back to the group, what she saw and how this is definitely not normal.
Oof.
Alright.
Alrighty.
All right.
So I feel like whatever we've been chasing is in there. I think we should take this time to prepare.
I mean, well, we don't really know much about it, so fuck it. I guess we're going in blind.
I mean, Obo would like to take about 60 minutes for a short rest. If that would stave off exhaustion just a little.
Yeah. Ginger Snap would agree to that idea as long as there's no sleeping involved.
Okay. So, you all taking a short rest?
Yep.
Sure.
Oh, it doesn't seem like a big deal to everybody else, but it's a big deal to me as a player.
I get nothing back, so.
I do. And it
Oh,
makes
will that be
me,
special?
it puts me at 100% for this fight.
Okay. So you all sit down a ways away from this cave. Just take a breather, rest your legs. Everyone roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Alright.
Damn.
Oh,
Okay.
SpaghettiOs.
Wow.
Oh man, don't tell me I'm the only one who saved that. How shit did I do
Where's
for
it
party?
going?
Come on, Jib. Oh.
Okay. So Julius and Juppo take 3 psychic damage
Oof.
as the presence of this place just encroaches on you.
This was a terrible idea. I regret this.
Is this before or after we finish the short
And-
rest?
Obo and Jed are the only ones that benefit from the short rest.
Oof.
That's okay.
Oh man, that sucks. Fucking okay, just stay behind me. Okay. Well, I screwed that up.
Alright, time
alright.
to get inside.
And that's
Yep.
where we'll end tonight's session.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Cursed areas are fun.
It's true.
Yep. 3 psychic damage is a lot at level 2.
Might have been
I mean,
worse if it was a long rest,
Oh boy.
but who knows?
Yeah. So we were traveling in this forest for a couple hours. It's only when we stop and rest that we actually feel any negative benefits from it.
With this area, it's kind of... You were moving through it fast enough, I suppose, and hadn't been in here for... Like, you'd been 30 minutes since you got out of the swamp area, basically.
And now all the bleeding from the nose and ears and mouth makes sense. All the ears and nose make sense now. Darn. Yeah, that was entirely for my benefit, and screwed too.
Yep, thanks for that.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I mean, if you look at the average HP lost and the average HP gained, still kind of benefited.
We got heal like one person.
I'm probably dead in the next hit.
Well,
Simply
those of
do
you
not
who
get hit.
stuck around on stream, thanks for watching. And tune in tomorrow at the same time for Rise of the Rune Lords, who are hopefully less cursed.
What could be
All
wrong?
Alrighty. So we're still
Good night,
on for Monday
everyone.
next week? Yep, sorry.